Welcome to the Otaku Podcast, everybody. My name is Braxton.
And I'm Taylor Fry. This podcast is for otakus by otakus. In this episode of the Otaku Podcast, Weeb Reviews. Not good? Is that good? Okay, whatever. So so right now we do not have good quality cameras. We'll just get that out of the way real quick. Audio is still going to be as good as always. But we do have a nice little special guest here for our Weeb Reviews for today. Introduce yourself, little buddy.
Hello, I'm Dakota, and I am your local My Hero Academia expert.
That's the only thing he's an expert on. So
Pretty much.
He's a little bit of an anime virgin.
Very much so. My Hero Academia is my first anime.
I'm going to get rid of that pop filter. I usually... Okay, whatever. So we don't have a whole lot of time. Unfortunately for today, we're just gonna only do possibly just the first season and maybe a little bit of the second season, and then we'll continue on in a couple weeks or so, discussing different arcs and stuff. For me, I have not seen anything of My Hero Academia, so everything you guys talk about, I'll be basically introduced to.
Yes.
For the most part.
All right. Without further ado, My Hero Academia. All right, starting from season 1. Would you like to lead this off?
Yeah, let's go. My Hero Academia Season 1, you're introduced to the main character and the number one hero, All Might. And the main character, Izuku Midoriya, who is a quirkless boy, and quirks are a superpower. 80% of the population has them, 20% doesn't, and he's part of that 20%. And then...
So, Midoriya has looked up to All Might all his life, wanted to be a superhero like them, but sadly doesn't have a quirk, which will make it almost impossible to do that.
As he's told by his mother in an episode, it's going to be impossible to get a quirk, and he won't develop one because he's not the peak of human evolution.
Yes.
Right now I'm trying to look up exactly when the first season aired.
We'll have stats up on the screen.
Yeah, I'll pop up the stats. Right now I'm just trying to load it up on my phone. It's not really fast.
So Midoriya never loses hope. He's always pushing forward and just never losing sight of his true goal to be a hero.
As All Might does. All Might is always smiling, never loses hope, doesn't want anybody to lose hope. But their chance meeting happens when Midoriya is attacked by a sludge villain, unnamed sludge villain, and All Might saves him, and Midoriya freezes up, doesn't get the chance to talk to him, and grabs onto him as he flies away.
And before we continue on, we forgot to mention this before, but since this is Weeb Reviews, this series, for anybody who does not know, is where we just basically discuss an anime series from its anime, from its manga perspective or light novel perspective.
Break it down and discuss every little part. There will be a lot of spoilers, forewarned.
Absolutely. So, spoiler warnings, if you haven't seen My Hero Academia, myself included, you should not, continue on with this episode. Probably watch A Beginner's Guide to Anime Part 3 or 4 or however many parts there is, or watch another podcast episode, unless you have seen My Hero Academia, in which case, well, we're free to continue listening, I guess.
All right. So, while All Might saves Midoriya clings on to him. All Might flies away. They land on the roof of a building, and Midoriya is sitting there. It's like, oh my god, this is my hero. And he asks him, is there any chance that I could be a hero too, even though I don't have a quirk?
Short answer, All Might says no. And Midoriya's heart is broken. And then All Might reveals, it's a little bit later, but All Might reveals that he's been injured in a battle and can't hold his muscle form, which will probably be shown on screen.
Yes.
Muscle form, and reverts to his weak form, where he's also spitting up blood.
But All Might is very much injured from a previous fight. So,
I want to say, I just got this pulled up. The first season of My Hero Academia aired back in spring of 2016. So already 4 seasons. The 4 seasons currently airing. Right now we're in the fall 2019.
Yes.
About to enter the winter 2019. The fact that this series has had 4 seasons in a span of about 4 years is incredible. That just shows how popular this series is. The manga first was published back in 2014, so it got an anime adaptation 2 years after its first few mangas were released. And each of the seasons have about 13, 14, some 15 episodes. And the studio that made this is Bones, which is known for My Hero Academia, but they've also created like some amazing anime as well.
Alrighty. So, after Midoriya's heartbroken walking home, I believe, he notices the sludge villain escaped. Now, he caused the sludge villain to escape because All Might had trapped him, but while he was hanging on to All Might, when All Might leapt away, fell out of his pocket.
And it's the sludge villain's now attacking another up-and-coming main character, Bakugo, Katsuki Bakugo.
Yes. Basically, that is Midoriya's childhood bully. He has always looked up to Bakugo because he has a very powerful quirk. He secretes nitroglycerin. He basically can make explosions come out of his hands, which is very versatile and powerful.
And I do want to mention as well, just one little quick thing that I also figured out is while there was also 4 seasons of the Japanese name is called Boku no Hero Academia, there's actually a movie that came out just last summer.
About the rise of All Might.
Yes.
Correct.
I have not seen the movie.
I think,
so
okay.
I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Let's get back on topic here.
I was gonna say, like, you've only seen up to just barely the 4th season?
I've seen every episode of season 3, and I'm waiting for the dubs to come out for season 4.
Yeah,
I watched it. They're actually very high quality dubs.
Yeah, because you only watch dubs, you non-weeb. No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean, I watch subs if there's no dubs.
Well,
but.
damn. I only watch subs because I'm superior.
Alright, so Bakugo is getting attacked by the sludge monster. Sludge monster has him wrapped up and is like controlling his explosion power. And Midoriya freezes up, sees that his quote-unquote friend, I don't consider his friend, he's a bit of a dick, so he sees his friend in trouble, so without thinking, he just leaps into action and attempts to save him.
While this is all going down, All Might is witnessing the attack, but he can't go into his muscle form, and
because he got injured.
Because he was injured, and can't go back into it for at least another hour, I believe.
And I think at that time he could only do about 3 hours a day because of the injury.
And he'd already reached his limit,
Yes.
flying around the city saving people.
So he's seen Midoriya in there. Midoriya actually didn't help much because he was just kind of clawing at the sludge monster, which did nothing. But it inspired All Might, which even though he surpassed his limit, to still transform and get in there and save them, which therefore decreased the amount of time he can turn into his muscly form.
So we've basically discussed
the first episode of season 1.
just the first episode.
Yes, this is just the first episode.
God.
Yeah, you keep interrupting, so we haven't been able to get very far.
Holy crap! It
Yeah.
sounds like you guys
A
just
lot of things happen in every episode.
I figured you guys have discussed like half the season 1, but I guess not. I was just about ready to ask like what you guys actually think of the series because we're just
I think it's amazing.
We're just talking about the series, but we haven't like the whole point of Weeb Reviews is to like discuss why we like it, who we think is best boy, best girl.
We have to explain what happens first.
Okay, that is true. But actually, another thing that I really enjoy is the openings. The openings.
They have some banger songs.
Yes, especially like season 3.
Right. So, after All Might saves Bakugo from the sludge villain, would you like to continue off from here?
After saving Bakugo from the sludge villain, All Might walks Midoriya home, I believe. Is that? Or Midoriya is walking home.
Midoriya is walking home.
And
All Might stops him.
And All Might reveals that he is quirkless indeed, and that he believes that Midoriya can become a hero by inheriting his quirk, which is unheard of in the entire series.
Yeah, it's called One for All. Basically, 2 quirks. There was a stockpile quirk, which could hold quirks, because there's so many different types of quirks. It was basically there was All for One, which you'll meet later. He gave his younger brother, who had the stockpile quirk, the ability to pass down his quirk. So, over the generations, once it's passed down to people with quirks, it gets added to it. So, every generation, the quirk gets stronger and stronger to eventually take down All for One.
And it's believed to be less of a quirk stockpile and more of an energy stockpile, because you only really see All Might use his muscle form, not really any other quirks from it. But it's not really confirmed to be an energy stockpile.
Yes, there's still a lot of mystery behind a lot of people's quirks.
But going into the second episode...
No, wait, no. In the first episode, he does say Midoriya will be his successor. and
That's
will
true.
inherit his quirk. Because he is injured, he has to pass it down much sooner than the previous generations.
Okay. Jesus, this is so much to take in.
Yes,
as somebody
this is only one episode.
I am not. Okay, God. I'm a slice of life guy. Okay, everything that's like being discussed usually happens in half a season, not one
Exactly.
episode.
Yes. Every episode is chock full with like this much plot development. In the second episode, most of it is Midoriya training so his body is ready to handle handle One for All. I mean, All
Lord.
for All.
And he
Oh, no, sorry.
one for all. And he
It's confusing.
overexerts himself
Yes.
while training.
Yeah, he trains for like 10 months, I believe, and basically is cleaning up an entire beach full of trash to help build his muscles and all that. So, in the second episode, he signs up for the top hero training school,
Oh, boy.
UA.
And passes the written exam? Is that when he passes the written exam? Or is that
He
jumping ahead?
failed the written exam, I believe, or did mediocre. Now, the physical exam, they're all fighting giant robots, which some are worth different points. The stronger they are, the more points they're worth. But there is one big one that's worth 0. It's just meant to get in the way.
And they're not told, but they're receiving points for rescues as well as destroying the bots that are worth points. So,
Yes.
with that being in mind, Midoriya saves Best Girl, Ochaka Uraraka,
Also known as Uravity, I believe was her hero name,
Uravity.
has the ability to make anything weightless and float.
And she fell down while running from the giant robot that they were told to avoid. And this is right after Midoriya has received One for All, has not had a chance to test it out yet, really.
Yes, and just like Bakugo, he leaps in without thinking, sees her on the ground, the robot's about to step on her. Without thinking, he leaps up and
destroys the 0-point robot that is supposed
punches
to
him right in the face.
be near indestructible. Destroys it with one punch.
One Punch Man? One Punch Man. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any episodes of that either.
Afterwards, he realizes my arm is completely destroyed.
Like, shattered the bones in his arm because his body cannot handle the quirk yet.
I'm falling very fast with no chance of catching myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because he leapt up like 100 some feet in the air. Because he put he activated the quirk in his legs, which destroyed his legs as he jumped up. So it just shattered his legs and his arm.
he had one arm left, and his one strategy was to destroy the other arm to keep himself from
Yes,
dying.
like to punch the ground like right before he lands, so he would be propelled up and it would be less of a fall.
That sounds like a
But-
trampoline.
Basically, but all 3 of his limbs are entirely shattered.
Before hitting the ground, he's saved by
Best girl.
Best Girl, once again, Uraraka, Uravity,
Yes.
Uwu.
Yes.
Did you just...
Leaps up and
God.
slaps Midoriya in the face to make him float.
I hate you so much now, Dakota.
And
He ended up passing, I believe, in like 6th place because he got 60 rescue points for rescuing Ochako, right? That was her name?
Yep.
Yep.
I believe that he was still above Mineta, though, on the exam. Which
I didn't even see him on the leaderboard. I don't know how he passed. Mineta, you'll learn to hate him if you ever watch it. He's a complete piece of crap.
But another character that's introduced in this episode is Ida, Tenya Ida. His quirk is Engine, which he's got engines in his legs that make him run extremely fast.
Or makes his kicks extremely powerful because if he starts a kick, activates like it's basically like a jet booster on the back of his calves. It'll just like if he starts a kick, just boom.
And
Very powerful quirk.
Ida notices that
Before the test starts, he instantly writes Midoriya off as somebody that's not going to pass and is incredibly like weak.
yeah, because before this, Midoriya was saved by Uraraka from falling and embarrassing himself in front of everybody.
Ooh.
And after that, they
As soon as he hit the robot with the punch, though, Ida was impressed.
And later on, it's revealed that Ida thinks that Midoriya's, insightful because of Midoriya's accidental earn in rescue points.
So Midoriya wasn't trying for rescue points. They didn't even know that was a category. Midoriya just genuinely wanted to save her.
The teachers are all pro heroes, and they're watching, and they are extremely impressed at the fact that Midoriya just dropped the...
0-point robot in one punch.
It has not been done very often, is what they
It
say.
hasn't happened in years, I believe.
And that sums up the
Second episode.
second episode.
Jesus.
Episode 3?
Actually, no, in the second episode, you see him get accepted and meet his teacher, Eraserhead.
Oh, my.
Which his ability is he can disable the quirks of anybody in his line of sight until he blinks.
Jesus.
Which is a very powerful quirk.
I assume so, especially if he trains himself to, like, not blink for, like, minutes at a time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he has. And he basically has a scarf around his neck that he uses to go, like, whip and, like, tie up opponents and stuff. It's like, it's an extremely powerful cloth. So he uses that to, like, basically beat them down when they just don't have a quirk because he disabled it.
Damn. The thing is that we really don't have a whole lot of time for this. So
no, it turns out this is going to take a lot longer than we thought. This is 2 episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
13 episodes in the first season, 24 in the second, and 24 in the third.
If we had a whole lot of time to do this, we'd be here for about several hours. We'd be just for one season, too. But, so we've discussed 2 episodes.
2 episodes.
Okay. Now, just to save everybody from, like, going on for, like, 3rd episode, if people are starting to get interested in it from watching this, they'll probably end up,
yes, please go. We've only discussed 2 episodes, so we're not very far in. Yes, there's some spoilers, but you'll figure out very quickly, so definitely go. If you're interested, go ahead and watch it before you watch the next episode of this.
And if you've already watched it, well, rewatch it, I guess. Well, I have to watch it myself, so
yeah, you're gonna have to. It's so good. 2 episodes and this amount of plot development already happened.
Good lord! I was gonna say, it's like, since I'm a slice of life guy, usually plot development
is very slow.
It's very slow, and it doesn't really happen till like it for like 1 episode that you've discussed would take about 6 episodes for a slice of life.
That's why I love action. It's so fast-paced. There's so much plot development and things happening. There's never a dull moment.
I could see why people enjoy watching My Hero Academia as much as people say. It's just, to me, I'm not much of a fantasy kind of action guy myself. I think it's...
The only fantasy part is the people that have quirks. The rest is like modern day. Like it takes place in like modern day Japan.
Okay, and then just so because we only got like less than 5 minutes, I think. We're just gonna quickly like wrap things up here by discussing favorite characters, dislike characters, best girl, best girl, best guy.
All right,
freaking
all right.
Go.
You want on the count of 3 say the most disliked character? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Mineta. He deserves to get shot in the head. Mafia-style execution. 1 in each kneecap, 1 in each elbow, 1 in each lung, and then the head.
Mineta's quirk... I apologize if this gets you demonetized, but his quirk is sticky balls. They
are purple balls that stick to everything except himself. That he pulls off of his head. He can bounce off of them and stuff. They don't stick to him, but they stick like you can't get it off.
If he pulls off...
He's also like 2 foot tall pretty much. He looks like he's 6.
If he pulls off too many of the balls, he begins to bleed from his face.
And I hope he bleeds a lot in the episodes I haven't watched. Yes. He's the biggest like piece of crap pervert you can think of. Like, not in the funny kind of way, just genuinely genuinely disgusting of a pervert. Lights flickered. We have demons. Get the salt.
And my favorite character in the show is Todoroki, Shoto Todoroki. His quirk is half and half.
Half cold, half hot.
I've seen pictures of him, and I'm the straightest man you'll ever meet in your entire life, but I would totally screw him.
He's 14.
I'm out.
Yes, all the kids we're talking about here, like Midoriya, Bakugo, they're all 14 to 15. They're quite young.
I'm out.
And
Jesus Christ.
Todoroki is my favorite character.
What's his quirk?
His quirk is half and half hot, half cold. In the first season, he refuses to use his hot side because of his father.
Dad, yes. So his hot side is his left side. He controls fire. The right side is ice. So it's an incredibly powerful quirk. But he can only use 1 at a time.
I wonder how he would be in bed, though. Like, he has split personalities. One's going to happen, one's not.
He's 14.
When he grows older, okay, and ends up screwing one of the...
There'll still be quite an age gap.
And the character that I ship him with is Momo Yaoyorozu, Creation. That would be the most powerful quirk that you could see.
Momo's able to create anything out of her body using lipids, which is basically like calories or energy.
It cannot be a living thing.
Yes. All right, so my favorite character. Call me a basic bitch, but sorry, Taylor, you might have to do that out.
I'm gonna have to edit
Basic
a lot of
B.
stuff out.
All right. I love Midoriya. Because even though he's a little bit of a crybaby, he develops so much because he is the main character. But he turns from being this weak boy that doesn't know how to do anything and slowly improves upon himself until he's a respectable hero. Todoroki doesn't seem to improve much character development. He starts to use his fire after Midoriya helped him learn that it is in fact his quirk, not his father's.
Yeah, it's a really complicated relationship between him and Midoriya at first because
Todoroki hates Midoriya at first because he could tell that Midoriya and All Might are definitely
friends.
Friends.
They're close.
And his father Endeavor, his one mission, the only reason why he created Todoroki, his son, is to take down All Might because Endeavor's the number 2 hero. All Might's the number 1.
Now, I want to say this real quick. I actually, even though I haven't seen My Hero Academia, I do actually kind of like Midoriya's, character, how he looks, stuff like that. And especially his voice actor, which is, his name is Daiki Yamashita. I've only heard of him in one other anime that I've seen, which is called the Otaku anime, which is the one that's currently airing. It's I think I'll discuss it when we talk about Beginner's Guide to Anime because we're recording this before that. But
this will be uploaded after.
Yeah.
We want to upload all beginner guides first.
Yes, and then what I've noticed is that the main character of Otaku is played by that same voice actor, and my God, do I love his voice in Otaku. Because
see, I listen to the dubs, and they're very good, high quality dubs. Because some of them are bad, some dubs are very bad. This one's very high quality. They have a lot of emotion in their voices, and you can tell they put their all into the voice lines.
I'm not personally myself. I usually don't watch a whole lot of dubs. I usually find myself watching a few dubs of anime I've already seen. I'll usually just watch the sub first, and then if it has a dub, I'll watch the dub again if I decide to rewatch it. But more than likely, if I don't decide to rewatch it, I'm just gonna leave it at the subbed.
By far, I think My Hero Academia is the best anime in the past 5 years. That's a big statement. But if you look at the anime community and how huge it is, you can tell so many people love and enjoy it.
I was going to say, a lot of people really like the My Hero Academia.
It's one of the most well-known animes right now.
It's been suggested to me, and I don't consider myself a part of the anime community. I've watched one anime.
We'll have to change that.
I've watched one
We're
anime.
slowly going to change that.
My Hero Academia.
Yes. We're trying to get him into Black Clover or something because it's got a decently similar plot.
Gotta watch Citrus.
No, that's just Yuri rape.
Hey, you could like it.
Anything with the R word, I'm good, Chief.
Yeah, well, I made you watch it.
Yeah,
first
he
episode.
made me watch the first episode,
and you wanted to stop.
Yeah, I wanted to stop 30 seconds in because the main character just got frickin' groped on the school grounds because she was wearing a skirt. And the raper, not the rapey, well, the rapee, the one that...
Oh, my God.
The main character.
Good God.
Walks up and just grabs a handful and caresses her all over because it's not up to the dress code.
Welcome
it's
to
really messed up and disturbing.
Welcome to the next episode of Weeb Reviews. Today we're discussing Citrus.
No.
Definitely a few animes that I do recommend watching for people who are starting. Definitely Steins Gate, of course. The whole Beginner's Guide to Anime is obviously part of, if you are new to anime, you should watch these as, introducing yourself to this genre, like the slice of life genre, or the action genre, or the fantasy or isekai genres.
Yes.
But My Hero Academia, even though I haven't seen it,
it does have some slice of life too.
Yeah, and
it's not a huge theme or anything, but there is some slice of life parts, and especially in the third season.
Yeah, when
they're all living in a dorm because we'll explain later.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll explain that later, but even though I haven't seen My Hero Academia, I've seen enough of promotional videos and cosplays and stuff like that to say that even though I haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend watching it because it is definitely one of those animes that even as somebody who doesn't know anime stuff like Dakota here,
it was able to entice him to watch.
And I binge watched it, and I don't binge watch anything. I don't watch movies. I legitimately sat down and binge watched this for
'Cause it's
2
that
hours
good.
a night.
I
Because
watch
it's that
about
good.
6 episodes at a time because usually that's half an arc to an arc. That's why I usually base those off multiples of 6.
Lately, all I've been doing is like just maybe a few episodes of each of the series that I watch. I try my best to binge a whole lot of anime, but with all the animes that I still have left to watch, the one thing about getting into anime is the later you get into it, the more you kind of regret it because there's so much anime to watch.
There is. But I don't necessarily regret it because you just have so much to watch. You can almost never run out. Because while there are some bad ones, the ones that are like only ecchi, we just, no. Bad.
Bad. It's citrus.
I mean, maybe a guilty pleasure occasionally. But
Why the hell are you here, teacher? That anime? Good lord.
But with that, since I don't watch a lot of anime, I don't have anything to watch while waiting for the dubs to come out at this very moment. I've been just focusing on stuff outside of anime and waiting for the
that's
dubs to come out on
perfectly
Hulu.
fine.
I'm trying to think. Something that would probably fit your taste.
I instantly thought Black Clover.
I was going to say either that or maybe One Punch Man. Cause
One Punch Man, yeah, it's a superhero thing. It's incredibly comedic. Like, the plot's not that deep. It's just a man who can literally kill everything in one punch. And he's just incredibly bored because nothing excites him. And it's very entertaining.
I've seen memes.
It's very entertaining.
That's
Because he'll be fighting and be like... And then the enemy's dead. He'll be like...
One punch, he's done.
I've also been suggested Dragon Ball, but
There's so much filler in
there's
Dragon Ball.
a lot
I'm
of.
sorry.
I was told to watch the Kais, which are Dragon Ball Z Kai is Dragon Ball Z minus the filler.
Well, in that case, maybe that'll work out because Dragon Ball is it's not like terrible. It's just with how many episodes there is, and especially filler, it's just not something.
That's why I could never get into One Piece, Naruto, or Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
The big threes that helped made anime what it is today, I couldn't get into it because of the filler.
Yeah.
So, did you enjoy coming out here today?
Yeah, I'll be back for the next one.
All right.
We still have like so much to talk about. We've barely scratched the surface of season 1.
2 episodes of the 13 in season 1. We can probably explain a lot. From this series, we'll probably in-depth explain every episode. We'll probably end up
basically
doing
the whole point of Weeb Reviews. Is just we're going to in-depth everything and just discuss it.
We'll
and
probably
review it.
learn to move a little bit quicker with each episode, though. Probably at least 4 to 5 each episode.
It's just, unfortunately, we were supposed to have a lot of time today, but we had like no time.
Due to personal circumstances, we were not able to.
Yeah.
So
I think that'll do it right here for this episode of Weeb Reviews, the first episode of Weeb Reviews. Thank you for coming out on the Otaku Cast, and we will see you on the...
say bye, Dakota.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
All right, he said bye, and thank you all so much for tuning into this episode of the Otaku Cast. We'll see you on the next episode.
Check us out on Spotify. I did.
Did you see me? I didn't know.